Today's episode of the Rants of Izzo Show is brought to you by Spreely Media, Spreely.com. Spreely is the home of the Burn Pit podcast. You can check them out every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, live on Spreely.com, where you will be informed. You will be educated. You'll be enraged. You'll be aroused, possibly. Really depends on your point of view. Sometimes I am. Is what it is. Spreely.com, all things spoken freely. Speak freely. Do it. Don't support communism. Don't support, what is that other one? Socialism. Don't support all the other isms that out there that aren't, I don't know, chisms or whatever. Who fucking knows? All right, let's have a show.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you. This is the Rants of Izzo Show here on Spreely TV. That's Speak Freely. If you take those two words, put them together, you're going to get Speak Freely. That's what the whole idea behind this network is. There's so many people out there complain about free speech, and whether or not you believe it, free speech is going away, and that's really at the hands of the conservatives as well, too. A good afternoon to everybody in the chat. If this is the first time you're listening, this is a stream of consciousness conversation where we have the ultimate multiple guests that join me during the week. Wednesdays happens to be so far our highest viewed weekly show with the Burn Pit podcast, gentlemen Scott and Matt, who join in. We have a chat. If anybody wants to sit there and get involved in the action, it's over at Rants of Izzo Show chat. All you have to do is look wherever you're watching this or listening to this, podcast or live, and you'll see there's a link to it. Click it, join the chat. Morgan, it's great to see you. Sarah Nichols, Franco Bev. I don't see April Schoen. April Schoen, I'll say hi to you anyways. April Schoen, good to see you. Gents, happy Wednesday, Burn Pit Podcast. How the hell are you?
Good, brother. Can you hear us?
I can hear you great.
All right,
awesome.
Cool, awesome.
That's awesome.
Good to see you, man.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we got this week, and we got part of next Monday. You guys are going to be on because we have a short week for next Monday because it is Christmas, and we're gonna have a big. I think we're gonna do like another roundtable. Yesterday, I had on Cliff Moore, who was awesome. He listens to you guys too, and he was the first time he was on the show, and he was an instant one of us. I got a hold of Joey that you guys are having on, but he couldn't make it on yesterday or Monday because of some issues, but he's going to join us next Monday. So it's going to be another roundtable, and we're just going to
Tarek.
Yeah, we're gonna light the Christmas menorah on Monday and just go from there. It's been I've missed a couple weeks in a row. Here, hang on, my board never wants to work here. I missed a couple weeks in a row where we have to do the shootings for Chicago because it never.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it just is what it is. I like to do these on Mondays, recap the week, but, we missed it this week as it is, and I've got the Burn Pit gents on, so we're going to do this. We are in the 18th day in the month of December out here in Chicago. And one of the reasons I bring this up is because we just had another school shooter, right? Obviously, for whatever reason, that call it MK Ultra, call it just diseased white feminine brain can't handle life, so you gotta go shoot shit up. I really don't care. But I saw on Twitter Congressman Jasmine Crockett. I don't know if you guys know who she is.
Negative.
No.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. She's a hot black broad. She is I think she's attractive. But she got in it with Marjorie Taylor.
You like the black chicks there, Dominic.
Oh, I am. When it comes down to Robert De Niro, that's the only thing he and I have in common. It's like we like the chocolate bunnies. It's very simple.
I love it.
Hard R and all. Oh God. So behind the scenes, yeah, there may have been one time in my life where I pride myself on being able to last an extremely long time in bed, and I will. This show is all about from politics to porn, and I never lie about shit, and it is what it is, and I'll let you behind the scenes. I had my first experience with a lovely woman of color 20 years ago, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to show her what's up. I'm going to show her all about white boy action and this and that. She pressed the nuke button, the detonation button, when she used the N-word with a hard R to describe what I was enjoying while looking me dead in the eyes. And I went, oh, I'm done. Complete failure. Complete fucking failure.
Did she let you use it?
Oh my God, she demanded I use it. She was so aggressive. She's like, why you ain't saying it? Why? I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this. It was really awesome. Anyways, Congressman Jasmine Crockett, who she got into a fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene at one of the their in-house meetings or whatever, and one attacked her eyelashes, and the other one attacked her being a butch body, whatever. She posted the other day, now this is a black woman who leverages nonstop the whole color of my skin and we're oppressed, this and that. She posts out another shooting, another school, another community shattered, and then goes to this whole big thing, this and that. I've never seen her post anything about any of the shootings in Chicago. So clearly, again, when it all boils down to it, the black community is the most unintelligent, emotionally based, stupid community in our nation, because they keep falling for this, to where even your own who represent you don't give a shit about black lives unless it's for political points. So you have a black representative who doesn't even acknowledge it. We need to talk about Chicago numbers. So we're in the 18th day of the month of December. I would like from you guys to take a guess at how many people have been killed in this month alone. The first, we're going to say 17 because the 18th day won't register till tomorrow. So in the first 17 days alone, how many people have been murdered in the city of Chicago? Take a guess.
47.
I'll go 29.
Are you cheating?
No.
Okay, that's exactly the number.
Look, Matt, do I have anything up on there? I have the school shooting.
Chicago shooting 29. No, I'm just kidding.
The answer is 29. That's correct for this month. So we have 29 black lives do not matter in Chicago for the first 17 days of this month alone. Now let's go to shooting. There have been people who are in that number who have survived this. How many people do you think have been shot in Chicago proper only, 2.7 million people, population, in the first 17 days of the month of December 2024? What do you guys say?
109 countries. I mean, 109 people.
I'll say 117. That's pretty good, Matt.
The answer is 92. That's very close. Very close. So now let's do the yearly totals, because we're going to close out in a couple of weeks here. How many homicides?
That's right.
Yeah, how many people do you think have been killed in Chicago in the last in this year? We're at December. We're closing it out so far.
I can't remember the last number when we did this.
I forget it too.
I'm just going to say 112.
Well, I'll say
probably more than that.
If we're at 29 in the month of December, if we do an average of 20 a month, I'll say like 240 something, 243.
Is that your final answer for both of you?
240.
Yeah.
So far, 596 people have been killed in the city of Chicago this year.
Holy shit.
Now let's go to shootings, right? Now, there are people who survived being shot. How many people have been shot so far in the year 2024 in Chicago?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to say 1,400.
Well, if we're at 92 in December, let's say an average, I'll just do 50. I'll do 602. 602.
No, people shot.
Oh, people shot
in the year. The year.
Yeah, okay, the year. Let's do 1900. 1900.
Do you want to hear?
I don't know.
I don't give a fuck anymore. It shows how out of control this culture is. You said 16, you said 19. The total people who have been shot in the city of Chicago, which is concentrated only into a few neighborhoods in the city of Chicago.
Right.
You're really looking at a very small area, and they're black neighborhoods. So you got the whole, whatever the square footage of Chicago, I really don't know what it is, square mileage. You condense that down into a few neighborhoods, and legitimately speaking, oh my God, Austin's had over 50 friggin' people shot. It's the high, there's, I think there's 50 wards or neighborhoods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So about 15 of those are the highest concentrated shootings out of, I think it's 50. That being said, the number is 2,907. 2,000.
Almost 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fill a room with
God.
that. I went to an Anthony Robbins seminar in 2009. This is how I based my thing. And it was like 3,500 people were at his event. And it was huge. It was packed. That many people have been shot in this disturbing loser city. And it's just, yeah.
And you're saying it's predominantly black areas?
Oh my God. It's, yeah. If you do go to heyjackass.com, which is probably the most comprehensively, I've never seen a website so well broken down where they show you, a person shot every 2 minutes, 54 seconds. A person's murdered every 10 seconds. We have placement. 139 people have been shot in the head and killed. 94 of them have been wounded. 118 have been shot in the chest. We can go over to Inglewood has 39 homicides with 184 wounded. Austin, 50 homicides, 170 wounded. They've got the closure rate. 75% of the shooting victims, shooters and victims are 75% black, 21.3% Hispanic, and then 3.7% are white. 88% of people. So it's insane.
Well, that's their white
It's
privilege.
insane.
That's their white privilege not getting shot.
Yeah. It's insane. It's utterly insane. This city fucking blows. Nobody, no lives matter here. I brought this up.
Chirac.
Chirac. It blows me away. And there's so many different directions. Like, Scott asked before, it's like, what are we talking about today? And I'm like, man, I don't know, because you can go every direction possible. And what is hitting close for home for me lately is like solutions, right? We come on every week and we talk about the lack of like action that people take. And then you've got like guys, and Matt's probably the one out of all of us who actually does the most preparatory training and prevention work for when the shit hits the fan. But I started watching these kids that I'm coaching wrestling last 2 months. And over the weekend, I went to a tournament where I watched 2 teams out of this like 9-team tournament do what we used to do, which is, for those who don't know wrestling tournaments, you've got like those who are on the mat. There's 4 mats. And then those who are wrestling, those who are on deck, they're next. And those who are in the hole who are waiting. And that time could go quickly. And you're all bunched up. There's not a lot of room for you. It's very chaotic. And what we used to do is you'd have your sweats on and you'd be pacing the floor like a caged animal, ready to go, psyching yourself up, changing your state. And then once you're on there, you're cold and you're nervous. And I used to not be able to feel my legs because the blood flow would be all up in my organs. But when the whistle blows, you're on, you run up to the line. And I'm watching 2 schools do this. 2 schools who took first and second place in the tournament were doing that state change. Everyone else out of all these males, cold, standing against the wall, looking as if, they're deer in headlights. And they got there, including our team, got our asses kicked. So when I went to practice on Monday, we did a breakdown and a debriefing. Hey, this is what I saw over the weekend. This is what I like to change, increase the intensity. Saying that, hey, I'd like you guys to increase the intensity, does not register to these kids alone. And while I'm going through the numbers for the Chicago weekends, I'm thinking about a very legitimate problem. I coach a majority of white kids, Hispanics. There's no black on the team. It's a northern area of Chicago, and I think about these kids. God forbid if they got in a legitimate fight, they'd lose. They do nothing, and that's our future. The black community 3,000 people have been shot. This is a culture and a community that could turn on the heat when they need to. Holy shit, dude. I don't care how many mats out there prepare for this shit. When you guys age out and you fall, and then you expect this new 18-plus community to come up and take the place, they're not going to. They're not going to. There's no men. There are no men out there, and I have no idea how we tap into that and create these warriors. None.
You can't. There is no. Well, first of all, whenever it comes to masculinity, I mean, there's different levels of masculinity. Now, I'd like to refer to Jack Donovan because he wrote one of the greatest books, in my opinion, about this topic, and it's called The Way of Men. And what he does is he lists the 4 tactical virtues that all men supposed to have. However, which is strength, courage, mastery, and honor.
Say that again. The
strength, courage, mastery, and honor.
Okay.
And you have to have basically all 4 to some degree. Again, that would depend on what level of masculinity you are, how masculine of a man you are. And in that aspect, he said that there's one fundamental function of masculinity, the fundamental function, the top tier function of masculinity, he said, was violence, to use it effectively both defensively and offensively. Because you can take, to your point, you just said it, Dominic, all these blacks in these communities, even, again, we bring it up every time, the Black Lives Matter protests, they use violence without even thinking about it twice.
There's no fear, nothing. They
will kill you. They'll burn your city down. They'll burn your house down. They'll kill cops. They'll attack them. They don't care. Why?
Here in Pittsburgh, they burn a cruiser.
I thought they burned too, but and the cops didn't even do anything. That being said, Dominic, even though we don't have to worry about whether it's moral or immoral, right or wrong is irrelevant. You can use anything to describe somebody as Darth Vader was a bad guy. He was a villain. He was masculine, though. He had tactical virtues.
Darth Vader was the man.
So that being said, whenever you reach top tier masculinity, Dominic, top tier masculinity, I like to describe as the founding fathers. They didn't lift weights. They didn't do MMA training, but they were willing to kill and willing to risk death to fight for their country, their people, and their way of life. Who in America today does that? People in America today, the so-called patriots, the so-called warriors, they will never even speak about fighting for their people, their country, or their way of life. Maybe if you're in a government institution fighting in a foreign land against a foreign enemy because your government told you so, which you're facilitated, financed by that government to do it, you think there's any top tier men? Even the Navy SEAL, who is muscular, well-trained in tactical firearms implementation, he is more of a fucking cuck than a 120-pound soaking wet boy who's willing to die and fight for his freedom, who is not lifting weights, who is not tactically proficient in firearms. The Navy SEAL is more of a coward. He's less of a man. The top tier masculine man today is equivalent to what Jack Donovan said. That top tier warrior patriot is a hammer seeking a nail to strike in a house that will never be built. Scotty, go ahead.
No, it's absolutely correct there. That book is amazing. Matt turned me on to that book. We had Jack Donovan on the podcast. Say those 4 tactical virtues again.
Strength, courage, mastery, which means competence. Right. You have a skill and you're proficient at that skill. Right. And then honor, which means you have a code of honor. You're honest. You tell the truth. You seek the truth.
Right. Yeah. No. And there's many factors I think that go into why men today aren't what they were 40, 50 years ago, even 20 years ago. And you can research. There's many different factors. We look at the decline in testosterone in men. I have an article pulled up here from Reuters that testosterone has declined in the last 20 years. That in 2002, a 65-year-old man would have had testosterone levels 15% lower than those of 65-year-olds in 1987. So what's the culprit there? There's a lot of things I think that have gone into it, which is diet. A lot of us, we're guilty of it. We're on screen time too much. We're not in the gym as much as we should be, or we're not eating the things we should be. A lot of us are eating shit food. There's issues in the water. Alex Jones says, oh, the water's turning the frogs gay. But they found that. Even RFK has said this atrazine or whatever is in the water is making men more feminine.
Dude, 100%.
Testosterone levels are dropping.
100%. I'll just say this. I'm kind of proving your point here. Not that if you guys have ever tried this. Trend. When I was on Trend, dude, I cut a hole in a fucking tree and fuck it without lube. And that is something that will mess your head up. So when he says that shit, it's like, yeah, 100% that's going to screw you up. Go ahead.
Yeah, but doesn't it go further than that? Like I said,
there's a mindset to it, right? The mentality.
You have men today, who are full of testosterone.
Right, they're on TRT.
Go to the gym, MMA,
right.
Tactical firearms proficient.
Right.
They won't even fucking speak about saving their people, their country, their culture, their way of life.
Because
these are people who took an oath to defend the Constitution. They refuse to acknowledge things because they're afraid that the government will fucking shut down their bank account. That's cowardice, and you are less of a man. I don't give a fuck how much testosterone you have. It's not just testosterone. It's a spiritual and mental thing that I believe is coupled within all of the other physical things that you were talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no challenges.
Sorry, Dominic.
No, there's no challenges when you think about it. I think most people, and I would have fallen into this category probably 9 years ago when I first got onto social media, like 2012 or whatever, and I saw this. I was doing martial arts, and that got me a little bit of notoriety on YouTube or whatever. But when I transitioned over into talking about political shit and law enforcement was probably 2014. And then I get this skyrocket of like 100,000 followers on Facebook. And I'm like, this is great. And then right around 2016, I started going through the banning phase where a lot of people were like, you get a 30-day ban. I had like 21 30-day bans in a row for shit. Come on, for a week and get banned. And I started to get anxiety of I have to watch what I say because my Facebook will get shut down. So I was compromising then, sacrificing the truth and reality of who I am for a platform to say words, to say that's what's all important. There's no action behind anything. Now I'm at the point I think about it throughout the day. It's like, man, literally, if my social media got shut down, it would affect me zero. I don't make money off of social media. And it's like, but where would my path go? And I'm starting to see now that for me, it is like that need to get this out, to purge this. That is like coaching. That is trying to raise or be part of a village that raises warriors. But my God, the process is impossible because we're all used to sitting back, watching somebody online. They got a blue check mark, so we got to follow what they say, and that's the extent of it. I think we need a legitimate blackout where phones just don't work. Nothing fucking works, and we have to go back to lighting fires with our bare hands and sticks.
I agree 100%. People need to suffer more and be in more pain in order for them to rise up and become better, especially men, to become better men. I mean, I've seen women have more balls speaking out than men. And it's sad. Like, again, I don't give a shit how big you are. I don't give a shit how good you are at fighting or tactical firearms. If you're not even willing to fucking speak the truth because you're afraid of the fucking government and what they'll think of you because you'll get arrested for an anti-Semitism law, you're fucking done. You're a slave. And slaves are not masculine. They're servants. The master is masculine. It's master morality, as Nietzsche said. Slave morality and master morality. If you are not a master of yourself and have no fear, then it's over. And that's what needs to be taught. Everyone's like, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't be saying those things.
Don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend anybody.
Stay away from those burn pit boys. Don't be listening to them. I mean, this is the world we live in. And the shooter, that fucking school shooter, who's a piece of shit fucking 15-year-old girl, probably whacked out on her mind on whatever psych medication. It doesn't matter. She was still willing to use violence to get what she wanted.
Whether it's right or wrong.
Whether it's right or wrong. And that's the mentality. And unfortunately, if you do not have righteous fury to battle this unrighteous, unjust, immoral fury, then this country's fucking finished.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the factors that play into it, whether it's testosterone levels dropping, whether it's what's in our food, whether it's what's in our water, there's many levels to this. But you guys grew up in the 70s and the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. My parents used to limit my television time. I'd come home from school and they'd be like, you get 1 hour. That's all you get. 1 hour of TV. Other than that, they wanted you outside. Go ride your bike around. Go play. Go do something. Be active. Kids today are not active. You see recruitment numbers down in the military because kids don't want to serve in the military. A lot of it's because of obesity, because they don't physically meet the requirements. But also, you look in wrestling, Dominic, when you're talking about kids showing up. You talked about last time, JV, varsity, right? There's no JV basketball where you're at. But kids aren't showing up to even come out for teams. They don't care. They want to be at home. They want, please.
No, I'm. You guys are dropping so much truth. It's ridiculous. Show up? Are you kidding me? We're in the second month. Season's over at the end of February. We're up doing conditioning Monday, and a kid comes up and says, "Hey, you're one of the coaches?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I'm. So I'm gonna join the team." And I'm like, "Well, it's not up to me. You got to talk to the head coach." And he goes, "Okay, just so you know, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I probably couldn't be there. And if I come this Wednesday, I'm going to be late." And I'm going, "Okay." And he goes, "Yeah," because I've been boxing and I've done a little bit of jiu-jitsu and, I want to learn wrestling. And I'm like, "Okay." And I go, "What year are you?" And he goes, "I'm a senior." And I wanted to go, "Don't waste my fucking time. You're going to tell me you're waiting now until there's a month and a half, maybe 2 months left of the season, and you're going to show up 1 or 2 days." It's when I first got on, the head coach looked at me and said, "Yeah, after Thanksgiving Day break, you're going to see a drop off." And we did. After winter break, you're going to see even more. When I was in wrestling, we had enough people for the, I think, like 13 weight class varsity, and you had backups. You had another 13 for the JV, and then you had more alternates who were there. So at least 30 kids, right? I counted 12 at yesterday's practice. 12. Wow. These kids can't even do push-ups. Can't even. Geez. It's insane. And I want to go back to the willingness that Matt was talking about. I want to see this. I want to see a perfectly lawful execution. A pedophile is arrested because that's the new word, right? Pedo. Last night, somebody sat there and threw slight on a comment I said or whatever, and it was a fucking broad. So I responded back with, "Oh, really? What's your OF?" And then she responded back with, "I'm 17. How dare you ask me that? Pedo, 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 pedo." And I'm like, okay, here we go. Everybody's a pedo, right? Everybody's a fucking pedo. So in this this phenomenon of pedo, let's get a legitimate. I want to get a legitimate, out of control, psychotic male who has been caught, convicted of raping children. And I want to take people like David J. Harris Jr., who makes t-shirts, pedophile hunter, on that, put a gun in his hands and say, "It is lawful. It's 100% ready. Here, or no, here's the wood chipper. Here's the wood chipper like you guys all put on your fucking, put wood chippers for pedophiles. Push the button. Go ahead, push the button, David." I want to see how many of these blue checkmark influencer conservatives who are Molon Labe and all this shit are willing to do what's necessary. Because I've thought about it a million times. Could I do that? I don't know. I think I've been so dumbed down. I know I could fight, but how far can I take that? Can I take somebody's life if necessary and lawful? And then at what point do we, that's why I don't back up shit like saying, or put something online going, "Yeah, we need to send pedophiles to the wood chipper." Well, am I fucking willing to do that myself? We don't have that today. We don't have that today at all. And that's going to go back to a problem of, like you said, with the military, Scott. We don't have numbers. Have you seen these fags in the military with their these males, eyeshadow, doing their hair in uniform, lip gloss?
Yeah.
This is our military.
Yeah. Yeah, it represents America. America's a fucking bunch of faggots. The United States of faggota. That's what it is.
Yeah, can you be a Daniel Penny? Can you back up and do what's right in the moment? And a lot of these guys do talk a tough game. A lot of these guys will get out there and they'll thump their chest and they'll say all these things. But when, a push comes to shove, are you willing to do what's right in the moment? And I'd like to think that all three of us would in the moment. I'd like to think that. But it's fight or flight response. And a lot of that's lost. The fight or flight response in men today is lost. Where you see the subway incident with Daniel Penny. You see a lot of people just sitting there doing nothing. And you only had 2 or 3 guys willing to go, whoa, somebody might get hurt here. We should do what's best for everybody on this train and stop this complete psychopath from maybe hurting somebody. How many times have you been in a situation where you see somebody and you're like, man, I should say something, but if I say something, then I'll be the bad guy. And you, like Matt said, you just have to do and be willing to do what's right in the moment. Meet that unrighteous fury with righteous fury, with righteous indignation. And I agree.
Now, what inhibits people from doing that, Dominic, you mentioned this last week, is the law enforcement arresting you after you did what was right.
Yeah, right.
So you have government intervention on doing what's right. So, and again, that is definitely part of the fear factor. And I understand that, which is why people need to get into large groups and be like, yeah, hey, guess what, law enforcement? You're not going to arrest him. We're going to shoot you in the fucking face if you try to. And we got 50 of us to do it. That's what needs to happen.
Yes, it does. And there needs to be law enforcement that has so much pressure on them to do the right thing that they're terrified to fuck up because that's a consequence. I was blown out of the water. This whole week has been insane. You get Daniel Penny, and the left is outraged because a white man kills a black man. Then you get BLM that says we need more black vigilantes to kill white people. That's not hyperbole. It's what he fucking said. We need more vigilantes, black vigilantes to choke people out for being loud, all that shit. Well, maybe you guys stop talking in movie theaters and we won't have a problem. Fucking! I will just. I'm so tired of it, man. If there's a movie theater, I'm getting up and walking out. If there's more than 5, a Florida one. So you have that, right? We have the Luigi Mangione, who was the shooter, which I think I think he's a patsy, who was arrested, and the amount of people who are glorifying him and celebrating him. It's good that we have a CEO, a greedy billionaire CEO was assassinated, right? This is where the shit goes off the rails. A Florida woman has been arrested and charged after allegedly using the same language associated with the subject in the murder of a top health insurance executive while on a phone call with her healthcare firm. Brianna Boston, 42, had just had a medical claim denied, and she was talking on the phone with a representative of Blue Cross Blue Shield. The Lakeland resident then allegedly said, this is her quote, "Delay, deny, depose. You people are next." Close quote. She was arrested. She was arrested for a threat. The amount of conservatives I saw when this was posted online, like by Breitbart and NY Post and all this, I saw people with the word patriot in their title and go, good, we need to have these threats addressed and this and that. And I went, are you out of your fucking mind? What part of, this is exact words, delay, deny, depose, period. You people are next, period, is a threat. That's a threat?
In my opinion, there isn't. And if I was the police, I'd be like, I'm not arresting them. No. Someone sought a warrant from a judge. So the judge signed it and the police enacted it.
And they're the terrorists.
So you have 2 failures on 2 different branches of government failing there.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this on Monday on our show on Spreely TV, which you can find on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick. Download the Freedom Hub app. We talked about this Luigi, who's now being kind of glorified. More so, I think it looks like on the left, politically, the left is kind of glorifying him for going after this greedy billionaire CEO. But Matt made a great point on Monday, which was find me 12 people that would be on a jury if this goes to a trial and this guy's innocent. I agree with you too, Dominic. I think he's a patsy. There's something odd about all this. Find me 12 people on a jury that haven't been screwed over by an insurance company or our health insurance system.
Or have had a relative screwed over.
Right. Or had a relative that's screwed over. You can't, it's to the point now where people have become so disenfranchised with the system here, whether it's the medical health insurance, whether it's the justice system, whatever it is, people have legitimate gripes on the systems here in this country. And this is an example of this woman being arrested who's saying, you know, my claim got denied and all that. She's frustrated. She's dealing with health issues. And here these insurance companies don't give a shit about just her as a human being. It's just I can understand her frustration. And her saying that was out of frustration. I would not have charged her. And if I was a police officer, I'd be like, wait, what'd she do? Why are we arresting this person? For this?
At what point are we allowed to purge? You know, there's a charge in Illinois, and I don't know how things are worked anymore, but it's called disorderly conduct, and it's the catch-all. And if I walk into a grocery store and there's people there, and I start screaming, just screaming, anything nonsense at the top of my lungs, I can be arrested for causing an alarmance or disturbance, and it can't be to a cop. Like typically, it doesn't speak this way in the language of the law. And it was always argued in my department where you'd have our sergeant would arrest people for disorderly conduct. And we're like, Sergeant, you can't do that. It says alarmed and disturbed member of the public. He goes, I am a member of the public. It's like, but all I need is to complain it. All I need is to go in there and start, reciting King Henry V at the top of my lungs. Matt's upset about it because I don't use a proper British accent. And he says, okay, I want him arrested. And he signs a complaint. Done. What the fuck was my point? What did you say? What did you just say, damn it? You went on this awesome rant and I lost my fucking mind again.
Sorry. What with this Luigi situation, you have people that are disenfranchised with the system that hear this woman who's
At what point are we not allowed a purge of language? What's the crime? I'm so frustrated. I'm having a bad day and I go to the grocery store and I want something, and a woman says, I'm sorry, I can't sell this to you because you don't provide your ID to me, right? I'm 50 years old. I don't drink, but I want booze, and I forgot my ID at home. Sir, I can't sell it to you. It's the law. The computer will not scan this. It's not her fault, but if I go, you fucking cunt, I can be arrested. But why? I don't give a shit if that upsets her. It's my purging of a bad day. I said a bad word, got it out of my system instead of taking a swing at her. I'll feel shitty about it later. She'll be upset about it. Who cares? Why is it a crime? Why is it a crime? So if somebody's denied on the phone, why can't you say, you people are next?
Yeah. Well, it's not a crime, but the government says it is, and they have a monopoly on violence. The people do not have a monopoly on violence because they refuse to organize. Therefore, they have no defense. They have no defense that can reach the capability to use against in resistance to the violence that is monopolized by the government. Therefore, you're going to do what you're told. If you don't, a gang of armed men called law enforcement is going to come and arrest you because they have no morals. They have no ethical code. They don't give a shit. They're paid with a paycheck, pension, and benefits. And they're going to do what they're told because if they do not do what they're told, they lose that. And it's a cushy job. It's a cushy job, cushy pension, cushy benefit package, and it's a pretty good salary. That's why. Because people will not organize collectively to counter these crimes, I like to call them, not laws, because they violate the Constitution. We're done.
Yeah, but you sure
as country's done. All you can do is do what the Spartans did, what King Leonidas and the Spartan 300 have done, because there's no other answer. Not capitulating, not surrendering, not bowing down is a win and victory in itself. Dying in battle, fighting against this is the only victory we can achieve now.
You can't even
because
do
there's
that.
no way you can win with the population of a bunch of fucking cunts.
Dude, you can't even do that. You know what you require to have a Spartan, a warrior mindset like that is? You need perfection in training. Otherwise, you're going to be the Mongoloid who can't lift his arm past fucking 4 degrees and raise a shield, right? It took me forever. I watched the first 3/4 of the movie Whiplash the other night. And I just had no desire to watch it, but I did whatever because I've seen all the clips. And, here's an angry music professor who throws a chair at somebody and this and that. And it finally gets to the point of the main character is having a conversation with the enraged, you fucking Jaime faggot music teacher, all this shit, and he goes, because the teacher got fired, and I'll ruin it for everybody, and he goes, listen, he basically said he was trying to create the next like Charlie Parker or whoever the great jazz musicians out there, because if he doesn't pressure people to find their greatest potential, then he is robbing the world of the excellence that we can among us, right? And pick any field out there, the top wrestlers, whoever in the Olympics, the top musicians from their period, the top, I don't care, any sports whatsoever. But we don't do that. You just said we need to have Spartans. That requires mastery of that's one of the tenets you talked about before. So now we got to do repetition, and then you have to have passion behind and purpose behind it, and then a mindset of being able to die for your fucking fellow war. Everything you just said has a level of expectation that is so pressuring that we can't even get people to show up for their shift at fucking McDonald's to work without complaining and bitching about shit. We are fucked.
I agree with what you're saying. My point is that's all you can hope for now. Remember, they lost. They were all killed. My point is you personally have to be like them because, again, not capitulating, not surrendering, not living in this empire of nothing, dying on your fucking couch, jerking off to internet porn, eating fucking peanut butter jelly sandwich. That is not doing that and dying, fighting against evil, even though you can't win, even though you know it's impossible to win and you're going to be killed. It's a victory in itself to die fighting without surrendering and capitulating to the enemy. Go ahead, Scotty.
I agree. I love it. It's true. And the reason why we don't have more men like that today is all the factors that we've talked about, but comfort does kill. People just want to be comfortable. People just want a roof over their head. They want their paycheck. They want their benefits. Like Matt talks about law enforcement, their paycheck, pension, and benefits. People just want comfortability. They like their screen time. They're on their phone 24/7. They're watching their Netflix shows. They're watching their direct TV on demand, all that stuff, the DVR and all their shows. And the country has become a bunch of fat, lazy slobs without any motivation whatsoever. And they will do as they're told and do as they're instructed because they're a bunch of pussy faggot cunts.
And Donald Trump's going to save them.
Well, there is that.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there is that. And it goes back to the whole woman who was arrested for free speech was the conservatives who were champing it. It's like, we need to do that now. I'm like, you guys never saw Minority Report? Because that's what's coming.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking coming.
Yeah.
That is what's coming.
Yeah. It's 1984, too. Thought criminal. You're a thought criminal.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Yes. The way to combat this is be opposite of what society is today. To be traditionally a masculine man, and I'm guilty. I should probably get off the phone more. I should probably get out and be more active. I mean, it's like, when my kids get home from school, I take them to the YMCA. I go to the gym, I work out, they go into the kids club. There's no TVs in there, there's no screen time, there's no iPads. Sometimes I look around when I'm at home and I'm scrolling through my phone. I look around and they're on their iPads and I'm thinking, we got to get out of here. I got to get them off. I got to get them out and get them moving, get them active, because everyone's living a sedentary lifestyle right now. Everyone's sitting at home on the couch with Cheeto dust on their fingers and playing PlayStation and, like Matt said, jerking off the internet porn.
But with Jergens and tissue paper.
That's what I mean. The way to combat this and change this is basically live like it's we're in the 70s again. Live like we're in the 80s again. How we grew up. I mean, how great was it? That those 2 decades, the 70s and the 80s, really were a beautiful time. I mean, you could go outside without a fear of really being kidnapped or really, I was 8, 9, 10 years old driving around riding my bike around areas where today I wouldn't let my kids go. It's just things have changed. Things have changed in sports. Everyone went out for sports. There was a JV team. There was a freshman team. There was a JV team. There was a varsity. Everybody participated. If you didn't make the team, there were rec sports you could get into. the rec sports were crazy. You get a recreational sports and go to football or recreational soccer, recreational basketball. There was track. There was all sorts of activities to do. And nowadays you can't get people to show up for anything, like Dominic said.
I go further than that. I say we go back to 1776, not to 1980. These motherfuckers said, yeah, we're going to kill the existing government. We're going to shoot and kill the existing government because they raised the tax on tea by 3%. Now people are paying 40% just off the top of the fucking paycheck. 40%. That's just off the top, not including everything else. That's what we need to go back to. No, 1980s were still cucks.
Right,
Compared to 1776, they weren't cucking out.
No,
they said, let's kill these motherfuckers. They raised the tax. You guys want to get together?
3%.
Let's dump that tea in the river just like Indians, and then let's go shoot these motherfuckers.
They basically put on blackface. Yeah. They basically put on blackface and then went and dumped tea in the river. But it's crazy when you think about it. Really, when you think about it, it raised it 3%. And here you look at, our tax money goes to infrastructure to build roads. And then we have to pay to drive on those roads that we already paid for, right? You have to pay a toll to drive on roads that your tax money already goes to. If we told our founders that, like you and I went back in time and we said, hey, James Madison, we want to talk to you real quick. This is what's going on today. How do you think he'd feel about that?
I think he'd be more concerned about our money that at least goes to roads we drive on or go to another fucking country that spits on Christians.
Yeah.
I think he'd be more upset with that one.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, he would tell you to go down to your local government building and fucking shoot everybody in the face.
We have those opportunities.
That's what they do.
And that we have those opportunities in the cases like Daniel Penny or this free speech woman, where people should be flooding those courtrooms and protesting just as much as they do anything else. That should be the rights, what the right does when the left burns shit down. The right should find cases like Daniel Penny and go, why the fuck did the district attorney charge in the first place? And they should be flooding those courtrooms where the judge cannot hold proceeding every single time. And then anytime that you get the cops barricading off, no, I'm sorry, we're coming in. End of story. We're doing it. And they need to do the free speech case. Going, you're arresting someone for free speech? No, I'm sorry. It's not. There needs to be war in the courtrooms.
100%. But unfortunately, the conservative Christians are cussed because, turn the other cheek. This is a spiritual war. We're in a spiritual war. Like that's some sort of force field.
Well, there's a quote out there. And I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, Matt, you probably know it off by heart, but when the government fears the people,
there's tyranny.
When the government fears the people, there's liberty. Yeah. And when the people fear the government, there's tyranny.
And the government doesn't fear us.
Our government officials do not fear the people whatsoever.
We've given them no reason, Scotty.
No, we've given them no reason, but also they have their armed bodyguards that know that they will do their bidding. They'll do their bidding.
They get paid well to do it.
Right. So why should they fear anybody? And that's what needs to be reinstilled, is that 1776 mentality and spirit.
You want to turn the other cheek?
No, I don't want to turn the other cheek. I don't want to do that.
Dominic, you want to turn the other cheek?
No, I don't want to do that. No.
No, I'll spread mine so they can fucking take a nice big season's eatings out of it. Fucking ridiculous. So stupid. I saw it today somewhere, and I didn't save it, but apparently on his way out of office, Biden is talking about the fact. This is how easy conservatives are just satisfied with the little crumbs they get off the table. I'm paraphrasing. Biden is going to make it difficult for people in office to make the copious amounts of money that they're able to make through the stock market, like Nancy Pelosi. Where's he been doing that where's the last 50 years? And here's the conservatives. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, no, we should be storming your house and raiding your fucking bank account.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's what a guy did in Germany. Funny mustache he had. He arrested Lord Rothschild and seized all of his bank accounts and then kicked him out of the country.
Well, I mean, we have these politicians that have enriched themselves, that have enriched their own life, and you can see it. I mean, the average salary of a congressman now, I think it's $174,000. They gave himself a raise in 2020 during COVID, actually, but it was 168, 169. It's throughout the years it's progressed. But Nancy Pelosi has been in office since I think in her late 30s, early 40s, and she's worth well over $280 million. And it's like, how? And you look at even on the right side of things, Dan Crenshaw has enriched his life completely. If people out there think Dan Crenshaw is some saint here because he was a Navy SEAL and has combat experience and he's a wounded combat veteran, he's just as guilty as any of them. They all are. They all are guilty. When a defense bill comes over across their desk and they know where money's going to be appropriated to, they buy stock, whether it's Raytheon, whether it's Black. It doesn't matter. Well, they'll see it and they go, all right, I'll put 50 grand in this, 50 grand in that. Stock goes up. They enrich themselves.
Yep.
And it's come at a detriment to their constituents. Yep. They don't care about their constituents. They're supposed to represent their constituents. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
Well, they deserve to get everything that they're getting out of this. Why? Because we allow them to do it.
No one doesn't care about it.
Let me ask you a question, Scotty Sieverts.
Please.
If these people who are cheating the stock market in Congress and in any government facility, they're cheating the stock market, they're making these laws, giving themselves raises.
Insider trading.
Yes, and giving themselves raise, voting themselves a pay raise.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is it possible for them to continue to do that if they were no longer breathing?
No, they'd be dead now.
There you go.
When you say that
dead,
number
man.
again,
There you go.
When you look at Nancy Pelosi's net worth, $240 million, that's... Look at the other way of translating that's $250 million. $250 million. And when you truly think about the work that they do, right? The value, because your income is based off of the value you put into society. She has a staff who creates everything for her, who she just uses. She's a salesman. That's all these people are. Their job is to influence or manipulate whatever the masses who are paying them want to deliver through their TV spots. It's all who can get on TV more, get more sound bites, and get their shit shared. So these are, we call those actors. Actors. Yeah. That's all they are.
What the fuck is anybody gonna do about it, Tom?
Well, I mean, it's like AOC, you're right. The person that gets the most screen time ends up having a more social media following. AOC has an enormous social media following. She's probably, Dominic, like you said last time, she's probably being groomed at this point to be a presidential candidate, whether in 2028 or 32. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
No?
Nah.
I don't know. I might agree. Dominic, he said that last time.
I'm thinking AOC
AOC might.
When you really think about it, she's in her 30s, right? Mid 30s or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's abroad. Dude, that's narcissism central. I mean, she was a bartender who got just casting call. And now why would you can't take that. It's an addiction. If they tell her, yeah, we're going to groom you and you're going to run, man, she's perfect for it. She's a Hispanic.
I don't know. She's not pro-Israel. I don't know.
There it is. That's true.
There's plenty of time to change her. Plenty, because they all flip flop and shit.
That's absolutely true.
It's fair.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, probably right now, Gavin Newsom's probably the front runner to be the 2028 candidate for the Democrat Party, I would imagine. And he's pro-Israel. He'll go over and touch the wall, and he'll take AIPAC money. So he's probably up there. But yeah, you have plenty of time to change an AOC. But her social media following is incredible. Whether it's X, whether it's Instagram, whether you name it, TikTok. She's across the board probably one of the most popular congressperson in the United States right now, based off of just influence and social media following. So I kind of will lean Dominic's way on that one. I think she could be groomed, and yeah, she could probably be persuaded to take some AIPAC money and suck Zionist cock.
Wow, that's damn, man, shit. I don't know. Fucking hey. I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah.
That's Dr. Shiva's line.
You know what? Go. Yeah, it is Dr. Shiva. Going forward, I don't think we need to know anymore, Dominic, what we're going to talk about on Wednesdays. I just like coming in and having a good conversation. This is great. I do. I enjoy it.
And I like yelling a lot.
Oh, people love it. I told you, people want the BPC, the Burn Pit Podcast cock. And that's what they want when it comes on Wednesday. They're gonna take it right down their throats. Like fuck, they're willing. They're baby birds, man. They're not like more. They're just big throats open, waiting for it. And holy shit, it's Wednesday.
We're honestly honored. We're honored that we're this well liked.
We enjoy
within your audience.
But here's one more thing I wanted to add when it comes to like testosterone and when it comes to like you see the decline of masculinity in society. There's all the factors that we've talked about today. and all the different, whether it's media and screen time and food and obesity and sedentary lifestyle and all those things. But there are some scary statistics out there, the drop in testosterone. But also, we've talked about this. There was a study done, and I believe it was the University of Michigan that did this study, where they went to a college campus, and this was 30 years ago, and they tested the grip strength of the average college student. They tested the grip strength. They went back to the same college and got the same type of test group 30 years later. So it's not like they're going to a construction site 30 years ago and grabbing the grip strength of all these construction workers, and then going to a bakery and grabbing the guys that work there. It was college students here in the 70s, and then they went here in the 2000s and grabbed college students from the same university and tested their grip strength. Well, their grip strength dropped by like 50%. It was crazy. So when you look at the cause of that, like, it's men not being men anymore. Men not being active men.
I'm so glad I got back involved with, wrestling's been one of my biggest loves, and I was gone for decades. And one of our guys lost over the weekend because the guy he was wrestling was doing or did something that was willing to win. He was in a top position. The guy from the school reached under, and he full on cupped our guy's sack. Just fucking cupped it. And it changed this. He pulled on it.
Checking the oil. Checking the oil. Huh?
He changed the state of the kid. The kid got all screwed up in his head. And instead of getting pissed off and fired up, he fucking he lost. And when I went back to the practice and we're talking about, can you hit in wrestling? And they're going, no. I'm like, yes, you can. I'm trying to show these kids. When you grab someone, grab like you're trying to pull the muscle off their bone. I asked them if you guys know what a butt drag is. What? And I explained, it's reaching behind, and when you grab a cheek, a guy's gonna look, what? That makes me sus. I'm like, you guys are not, the bottom line is, you're not willing to do what it takes to win at all. And that is such an internal a drive that just isn't there. And it blows, it's unfathomable that in that sport, above all others, you have people who are like, you mean I gotta go hard? You mean I gotta hurt somebody? What you fucking think this is? So I'm blown away at how we have a nation of pussies, an extreme nation of pussies. Blows me away. Guys, tell us what's going on with the Burn Pit podcast. What are you guys coming up this Monday?
We have a couple episodes that we've recorded that we're going to release last couple Mondays, but we're actually going to be, the next 2 weeks, we're actually going to be off. We return to Spreely TV January 6th, Monday, January 6th. That's when the election gets certified. Kamala Harris will be certifying the election. And then
she lost.
and then 2 weeks after that, you have January 20th, which will also be a Monday, which will be Inauguration Day for Trump. We'll be live for that. I mean, we're going to be live every Monday coming in to 2025, but the next couple of weeks, we're just going to release some podcasts. We're also going to release re-release a podcast that we were on. We were on this gentleman's show last year. He invited us on, and I think he'd appreciate if we released the show that we were on. It's called The All-American Savage Show with John Burke. We're going to release an episode that we were on with him. I think he'll appreciate that. He'll enjoy it.
That's uncool, man. Oh, there's some behind the scenes shit. That's fucking well played. Well played. I love John. I really do. I do have a ton of respect for that guy. He can.
Yeah, seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
I enjoy him.
A little surprised, but he's somebody who can give his opinion, take it, and he doesn't give a shit. You know, if you disagree, he still can maintain friends with you. So I'm kind of a little shocked on that one.
He blocked me. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just not like him. That's not like him at all. The guy can take so much shit, and whatever. We'll see what happens with that one. Monday, you guys are joining us Monday. Hey, join us Monday?
I'll be with you Monday.
Yeah, we're going to be with you at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yeah, we'll do an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever you want.
Well, that's cool. We'll go long on Monday, whatever you want. Guys, have a great damn day. That's all I got. Go watch the Burn Pit podcast. Go catch up on some episodes. Go check it all out, and there you have it. Go help somebody today, and if you can't help them, don't spin the dreidel. Hurt them. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.
Yes.